are back once again with another haircut tutorial, and today I'm going to be doing a Jimmy Butler type of haircut. You know what I'm saying? It'll be a high top fade. So to start off this cut, I'm going to go ahead and set my bald line in right at the top of where his arch would be, and then we're going to bring that straight back. We're not going to drop this fade, we're just going straight front to back for this one, since it is going to be a higher fade. And I'm just gonna go ahead and bald him out. And when after this balding out process, I'm not going to hit him with the foil shavers because of the texture of his hair. He will bump up, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to cause my client any irritation and infection, so we're not gonna use the shavers. We're just gonna go ahead and bald him out with the trimmers, and that'll be the lowest that we go. And now moving on in my next step, I'm gonna go ahead and make my first guideline with my clipper all the way open, and we're making it about 1 inch width, and we're gonna keep that same shape that we made with the bald line, straight front to back. And you can see the light on my clipper, you know, flashing, and maybe it's about to die, but we make it through the haircut without them dying. But we're just gonna go ahead and make sure that the length of that guideline is even all the way through, so you'll see me go over it multiple times. And now to lighten up, you know, that line in between the open and bald line, I'm gonna go ahead and just slightly tap that line, just so we can loosen it up and make it a little bit easier to take out when we come in with our clipper. So that's what you're seeing me do right here. And I'm just tapping the bottom of that line. I'm not going up too much. I just kind of want to, you know, loosen it up, make the transition a little bit easier. And here I'm gonna go with my clipper closed. And you'll see as I move up in that guideline, I'll start to open the lever. So I'll go in closed and I'll open it gradually as I move up. And as I do that, you will see that line start to blend out. And I don't know if you guys can tell, on my right arm, I got my first tattoo, you know what I'm saying? It's still in the healing process, so I'm not giving you guys a really good look at it yet. But when it is fully healed, I will go ahead and show you guys what my tattoo is. I was super nervous when I got it, you know what I'm saying, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. But that is my first tattoo, family. And again, I'm still going in closed and I open it gradually. And I'm just kind of playing with the lever, trying to get that line as blended out as possible. Now his hair texture is really thick, so I have to go over it multiple times in order to get it, you know, looking the way that I want. And following that up, I'm gonna go with my one guard all the way open, and I'm going up again about 1 inch. And with his hair texture, fam, I don't really have to, you know, flick out much. It kind of just blends naturally, but you'll still see some lines that we're gonna need to take out. But this is our one open, and you don't want to dig in too much into the flat top area, you know what I'm saying, because you want to have that square shape. But again, this is my one open. And also with this hair texture, you always want to make sure that you're brushing the hair and allowing it to lay down nicely, because when you do cut this texture of hair, it tends to, you know, you would cut it and it tends to just stay there. It doesn't fall back into place. So you want to make sure as you cut, you're always brushing so it's laying down very nicely. And right under that one open, I went with my one closed. And it's not going to get rid of that line, but it's going to lighten it up a little bit. So that's what I'm doing right here. And now following up that one guard, I'm going to go with my half guard open. And you'll see me close it gradually as needed. And as I do that, that line will start to disappear and kind of bring everything together. And I'm using the corners of my blade, you know, to get into those darker areas that I didn't get in the first time. So that's what you see me do here. Just keep brushing the hair, making sure it's laid down nicely. And since the half guard wasn't really doing the job, I'm coming in with my clipper all the way open, using the corners of my blade to get into those darker areas once again. And I'm just continuing to brush the hair. And with this system, I'm just, every time I set in a guideline, I'm taking out the line directly under it. And what this will do is kind of help not prevent you from taking the fade too high, you feel me? So that's what I'm doing here. And now I'm coming in with my 2 guard closed, and I'm going with the grain just so I can lay the hair down as I cut. So I'm not digging into the flat top, I'm kind of going straight down. So this is my 2 guard closed, and I'm going with the grain here. And now right under that, I'm gonna go with my 1.5, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm not digging in to the flat top. All those hairs that were hanging over the side of his head, I'm just laying down. So this is my 1.5. And now for that line that is left, this is still my 1.5, but it is all the way open, and I'm going against the grain. And I'm kind of flicking out as I get towards the top, you know, where the length is at. And I went ahead and closed the guard. And you can see as I do that, it starts to slowly come together. And now for that slight line that is left, I'm gonna come in with my 1 guard open, and I'm just gonna work at it until I can get it as blended as I possibly can. So this is my 1 open, and you'll see me just kind of playing with the lever. And now to follow that up and kind of blend into the length on top a little bit better, I'm gonna use the clipper over comb method. And I'm sorry if you heard that, it's not a gunshot, it is fireworks. They're going off in my neighborhood like crazy. But with the clipper over comb method, you want to go in with the comb and flare it out, and then every hair sticking out of the comb you want to get rid of. So that's what I'm doing right here, and as I do that, it starts to come together very nicely. And what that clipper comb, the one I'm using, acts as is a 1 guard, right? So the clipper flat against this comb is basically a number 1, and that'll kind of give you some direction when using it. And now for that line that is left, I'm coming in again with my 1.5, and I'm just working at that line. Now this is my 2 guard, and I'm gonna take it up a little bit higher. And that's what it is, family. You always want to just try stuff. You're not always gonna get a fade perfect the first time through, you feel me? Now this right here is a razor comb, and this is doing here is kind of laying down those hairs on the side very nicely, and it gives that blend the nice, you know, finished look. So it's laying down all the hairs that are kind of bunched up and just laying them flat against the head. And as I do that, you can see the fade starts to look a lot smoother. And that blend is coming together. Let me know what you guys think so far in the comments. And now right here, what I'm grabbing is all the hairs hanging over his hairline. So kind of like the same thing I did on the side, I'm going to do in the front, right? Because this is a flat top look. So I'm going with my 2 guard closed, and every hair hanging over the hairline, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of. And this is laying down the hair while cutting it. But as you can tell, I'm not cutting into the flat top, I'm just tapering his hairline. And now to make it a little bit shorter, I'm going to use my 1.5. And as I do that, you can tell that it starts to lay down the hair very nicely. So when I come in with my trimmer, it'll line up really crisp, and it'll ensure that the client has a longer lasting hairline, you know what I'm saying? And now to prep the hairline, I'm gonna wipe it down with some alcohol, and then I'm gonna spray some holding spray in there, and then I'm gonna blow dry it with the blow dryer. And what this is gonna do is ensure that when I line it up, it's as crispy as it possibly can be. So when lining them up, I want to start in the middle, and right here I'm gonna be working to his right side, my left side first. And what starting in the middle does is ensures me that I won't push his hairline back too far, you know what I'm saying? And now this is moving on towards the left side of his head, keeping it as natural as possible while getting it as sharp as possible. And as you can see, as I line it up, it starts to bring everything together, and it shows areas of the fade that we need to go back and detail, because what the lineup acts as is the framework of the haircut, right? So as you line it up, you'll be able to tell little minor imperfections that you need to go back and detail. But again, I'm just keeping it as natural as possible while getting it as sharp as possible. And that lineup is looking sharp, it's looking straight. Let me know what you guys think in the comments so far. And now to add some, longevity to the hairline and get rid of all those stubbles that the trimmer couldn't get, I'm going in with my razor. And when you're using the razor, sorry, I can't talk, you always want to make sure you're stretching the skin so you're not cutting the client and you're giving them a nice comfortable shave. And this just takes the haircut to another level. And now we're going to kind of just clean up the top. It doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to sponge it, but we want to even it out just a little bit and get rid of all those hairs that are kind of sticking out. But that blend is looking crazy. Just cleaning up those hairs. And now we're going to go ahead and follow it up with the sponge. And when using the sponge, you always want to go in the same direction so you're not unraveling the curls that you are making. But as I do that, you can tell it takes this haircut to another level. He came in looking rough, but we went ahead and got him together, you know what I'm saying? And this is the Jimmy Butler style haircut. A high top fade with a sponge top. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. And I have a lot more dope content on my channel as well as on my IG. So if you can do me a favor, go ahead and follow me at Dreclipperhands. It would mean the world. Join me on the road to 10K. Chill.